You can be so optimistic and so positive that you become a vibrational frequency match to what you want, and that's how those opportunities fall in your lap. Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, and abundance, will be changing signs from Taurus to Gemini on May the 25th. When Jupiter changes signs, collectively it reveals where our collective focus is going to be in terms of where we want to grow and expand. And when it changes signs in your chart and when it moves into a new area of life, aka a house, it shows where you want to grow, evolve, and expand. And it can also show where opportunities will come into your life. Now I'm going to go through all the zodiac signs and share with you how Jupiter will be impacting you. I also have done monthly horoscopes for May 2024 where I share the energy of Jupiter and how it will manifest in your life. With Jupiter moving into Gemini, Gemini is a mutable air sign ruled by Mercury, so it's an energy that is all about movement and flexibility and changing, and also Mercury is about communication and travel. So as a collective, there's definitely going to be an evolution there, an emphasis there, and that's where we're going to grow and evolve. I mean, it's a bit predictable, but the growth in technology, the internet, media, and also AI is going to be tremendous. But also with Pluto in Aquarius and Jupiter in Gemini, it feels like it's going to be a little overwhelming and overbearing. Like, everything is digital, everything is AI, like, you know, you can't get away from the internet, and of course, that's evolution. But at what point does it become too much to the point where it's becoming a bit destructive? You know, there could be a collective interest in learning things, especially learning about the mind and how the mind works and psychology, or even learning things that are more spiritual, like astrology, for example. That's something that can excite a lot of gems. I mean, when I just reflect at like my spiritual awakening, or soul awakening should I say, like going back 8-9 years ago and looking at how much everyone is so in tune with like spiritual practices now. Like, I used to keep them to myself, and I know there's people that have been doing this like forever and been, you know, in the spiritual closet for like decades and decades. When I look around now, like speaking about astrology or knowing your rising sign or knowing about crystals or the chakra is just normal, and which is great, absolutely great. The downside is it's becoming a little more superficial and becoming a little more commercial, where it's all about consumption. I'm finding the esoteric sacredness and the magic is getting lost in all this superficiality and the shallowness. But it's great that we are relearning, reawakening to ancient practices, just in a different way, unfortunately, but at least some of us can keep the magic alive. Now, Jupiter has this reputation of being this good luck energy, and it brings so much positivity and opportunity, and yes, sure, absolutely it can. I'm not being a downer here, I'm not being negative, I'm being realistic, okay? And that's what you're gonna get on re-astrology. Sure, it brings opportunities and growth, and it shows you where you want to evolve and where all your positivity is. The way manifestation works with Jupiter is when you're in that positive mindset, when you're feeling very abundant internally, and then that energy just radiates so much where you become a frequency match to all that you want, hence those opportunities, hence that good luck, hence abundance enters your life. Like, that's how Jupiter works. But we also got to be very realistic with Jupiter. Anybody who's lived long enough to experience Jupiter impact them will know that it's not always as positive as people make it out to be, because sometimes it can escalate certain things or exaggerate them to where it turns very dramatic, or even it can bring some tension. It just depends on how it's impacting you individually. Remember, this is a general forecast, so it won't apply to absolutely everyone. With Jupiter, you got to be mindful of not being too toxic positive. You also got to be mindful of not overdoing it. Like, yes, it's all about go big or go home, but you got to also be very grounded so that you are in tune with reality. And personally speaking as well, I've experienced Jupiter exaggerate and escalate certain things in my life where it's not even about it bringing like good luck energy in my life or bringing so much joy and happiness. It's actually given me so much more drama, which I could have done without, but you know, that's how the game works, right? It's part of the soul mission, it's part of the soul purpose, it's part of evolving as an individual. And each one of us and our individual journey contributes to our collective ascension as well. The more of us that evolve and grow and expand, the more this ascension starts to pick up. And regardless of where Jupiter is transiting in your chart, you can still work with this energy on a very spiritual level. Jupiter is a planet of wisdom, and then Gemini is also, from its highest manifestation, learning and expanding the consciousness. It's the higher mind, so if you bring them together, this could be a very spiritual time for a lot of people, and especially when it comes to learning things that have been lost through history. I'm now going to go through all the zodiac signs and share with you how Jupiter and Gemini is going to impact you. Remember that everyone's chart is unique and individual. It's not going to apply to everyone. I'd recommend you using your rising sign, and I am working with a whole sign house system here. If you want a more detailed understanding how Jupiter is going to impact you, or just overall to learn about your chart and what's impacting you right now and the next 12 months, you can check out my booking website to learn more about one-to-one readings and emailed readings. Aries rising. Jupiter in Gemini will be entering your third house of the mind, learning, communication, local travel, and also siblings. So this shows where your higher self wants you to grow and expand, and you're going to be feeling that energy. You're going to feel that optimism to grow in this area of life. Perhaps during this time you're going to be very social, and communication is going to be super key. You may be out there interacting, getting to know people. You may meet some people that are very either spiritual like Jupiter, or full of happiness and joy, and they have this positive aura about them, or even perhaps they're like Geminis. They're very talkative and social, and you can learn a lot about them, and perhaps together you start to learn something profound, whether that's about the psyche, whether that's about spirituality, whether that's about just traveling, or just learning something that just expands your mind. And the thing is, Jupiter is all about expanding the mind, expanding one's horizon. So this for you is going to be tremendous when it comes to growing as a person mentally, when it comes to experiencing new things and experiencing new people, experiencing new places as well. This may also be a time where your relationship with your siblings, or even cousins, or even like people that live in your neighborhood become more profound, and there's a lot of emphasis there. You may feel very nostalgic with your siblings or cousins, or there may be this good relationship that you have during this time where there's a lot of joy, happiness, a lot of giggles, and a lot of laughter. So for you, it's all about expanding your mind, and this could be a very spiritual time as well, because the third house, if we're looking at it from a more deeper spiritual lens, it is the higher mind. And you can also receive a lot of flashes, psychic flashes. When I say psychic flashes, I just mean like getting downloads and information just like coming out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, that can definitely happen with Jupiter in your third house. Taurus rising. Jupiter and Gemini will be moving into your second house. So this could be very exciting, because the second house rules over where we find our sense of value and worth, and it's often through money, through finances and material possessions. And for you, that's super important, because it's important for you to be financially secure. That's what gives you your sense of self-worth. So when Jupiter moves into your second house, there can be a lot of optimism, a lot of positivity, a lot of energy around growing more financially. You may find yourself attracting opportunities, or attracting more finances, more money into your life, or material possessions, or just feeling so good about yourself. This could also make you feel very confident and make you feel great about yourself, and really uplift just your sense of self-worth and your sense of self-value as well. So this is going to be a great time for you. But I gotta say, with Jupiter in the second house, something that you gotta watch out for is not overdoing it or overspending, especially in the month of May. If you haven't checked out your horoscope for May, I recommend you do, because I spoke about how both Venus and Jupiter will be moving into your second house in May, which means you can feel like you just want to spend because you're feeling too good, and then later on you can like regret it. So you got to be very cautious of how you're spending as well, because sometimes Jupiter can be so ungrounded, where it's not looking at the facts, it's not looking at reality, and it's just kind of like in a bubble. And just knowing your limits and boundaries is going to be super important for you with Jupiter in your second house. But overall, this is a great transit for you. Gemini rising. Jupiter is shining its love, its abundance, its magic onto you, because it's moving into your sign. So it's going to be major for you. Like, major changes are going to occur for you. So Jupiter is going to be moving into your first house. Your first house rules over you, your sense of self, your identity, your life path, life direction, how you perceive this world. And it can bring just so much optimism into your life, so much positivity, so much happiness and joy, where you can feel so good about yourself and the path that you're on. It can also bring a lot of opportunities in any aspect in your life, whether that's home, whether that's career, work, or even relationships. Well, you know what? I'm going to emphasize on that relationship aspect, because Jupiter is going to be in your first house. Opposite your first house is your seventh house, which represents relationships, marriage, and other people. So definitely you can attract in a lover if you're not already in a relationship, if you're single, or perhaps your relationship just goes on to the next level, or you feel really good about your relationship, like it feels like the honeymoon phase all over again. And this for you is a new 12-year cycle. So just think about, where were you at in your life, just your mentality, what you wanted in life, just everything, because this is a new cycle. So reflect on that And it's good to think about, well, where do I want to be in the next 12 years as well. Also have to make you aware of the fact that Jupiter does overdo it at times. So it's this larger than life energy, and it's great. So you also got to be very mindful. Sometimes it can overdo it and the energy can be very overwhelming, or it can create a little drama, so just be careful of that. But overall, this is just so great for you. This is a new beginning, a new cycle, a new chapter. Cancer rising. Jupiter moving into Gemini means it's going to be moving into your 12th house. Now, the 12th house is a very spiritual house. It's where you find your connection with the divine, God, the universe, your higher self. It's also your creativity, your gifts, your abilities, and your empathy, and also your dreams. So during this time, you're going to be experiencing a very spiritual change, a spiritual shift, because Jupiter is also a very spiritual energy. So this is a time where you may be very spiritual and you may want to learn new things that connect you more with whatever your beliefs are, or just like your higher self. Your dreams during this time may be very symbolic. You may be feeling really good about your connection with this higher power. And also you may feel very creative. So it's a great time to utilize that joyful energy that Jupiter is going to bring in your 12th house and bring out that creativity, bring out that spiritual side of you, and work with it. Work with it and share it with others, because it would be a shame not to. I mean, there's so much magic here, so much bliss as well. So when it comes to expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness, receiving messages, receiving downloads, expanding in your spiritual beliefs and spirituality and sense of self and higher self and your creative gifts and abilities, this is going to be incredible for you. And with Jupiter here, you may feel too empathic to the point where you just want to help everyone as well, and you're just too generous, like you're in such good spirits. So just be careful that no one's taking advantage of you, and you're keeping your boundaries like very strong, and also keeping having a psychic shield around you is also going to be very key for you with Jupiter moving into your 12th house. Leo rising. Jupiter in Gemini is going to move into your 11th house of friendships, groups, networking, and your hopes and wishes for the future. So this is going to be great when it comes to socializing and meeting new people, and even joining like new groups or communities. And because Jupiter is going to be in Gemini, I mean, it's just emphasizing on networking and communication, and also the internet, and creating stuff, creating and doing community work as well. And Jupiter moving into your 11th house may even connect you with your humanitarian energy, where you want to actually do things for the world or think about the future of humanity and just contribute. Virgo rising. I'm excited to tell you that Jupiter will be moving in Gemini into your 10th house of career goals, ambitions, and achievements. And with Jupiter in your 10th house, you can definitely expect the fruits of your hard work. You can expect opportunities opening up for you and accomplishing and achieving some of the goals you've set out for yourself, especially with this energy being in the 10th house. And it could be through meeting new people, meeting people that are either very spiritual or just very knowledgeable, or that have a great like networking circle. Like, get out there, because you can definitely meet a lot of people that can be great for you and what you want to achieve in life. So it's a great time for you. Libra rising. Jupiter in Gemini will be entering your 9th house. The 9th house is where Jupiter feels so at home and so comfortable, because it's the higher mind, higher learning. It's about spiritual beliefs and philosophies, and also travel. So definitely you will be expanding when it comes to your mind and your spiritual beliefs and philosophies. You may take an interest in learning spiritual practices, whether it's astrology or whether it's just some other form of spirituality, or just you're going to have this excitement and this eagerness to learn as much as you can. It's also a great time to socialize and network and meet different people, especially people from different backgrounds. And you can also expect travel during this time with Jupiter in your 9th house. So it's a great time to be out there, explore, and enjoy life. Scorpio rising. Jupiter in Gemini will be entering your 8th house. So the 8th house rules over the more serious side of life, which is shared finances and resources and taking relationships to the next level and intimacy. This is the house of transformation. This is your area of life. It's also the occult and the magical aspect of life, and where you can find a doorway to your underworld and find the answers you've been seeking your entire life. Like, it's a very magical, mystical area of life when you work with it esoterically, when you're opened your frequency to attune into that energy. And with Jupiter in the 8th house, it can definitely bring abundance into your life through someone else, through a connection, whether that's a relationship or just someone you know through work or someone you're in a partnership with. Even like inheritance, like it can definitely bring some abundance and wealth into your life. This could be a money manifestation energy. This is also going to make you feel like you want to expand more spiritually, so a very spiritual time, because Jupiter is also a spiritual energy. It's about higher learning, the higher mind and wisdom when it comes to you, your psyche, your spiritual practices, just taking them onto another level. You may get interested in learning more about the occult or esoteric practices, even astrology, anything that helps you understand your soul while you're here and the magic of life and finding true spiritual power, true spiritual wealth. So it's definitely going to aid you in that. And I just want to say that be very careful with Jupiter, because it can definitely overdo it sometimes as well. So just be very grounded, be very realistic, and know your boundaries. Sag rising. Jupiter will be entering Gemini, your opposite sign, and moving into your 7th house. So the 7th house rules over other people. So this could be a significant other, relationship, marriage, a partnership, or even your subconscious. What's so exciting is when Jupiter enters your 7th house, you can definitely expect somebody new into your life. Like if you're single, you can definitely meet somebody new, or if you're in a relationship, your relationship can go to another stage. You can definitely feel like you're in the honeymoon phase all over again. So relationships and love and just feeling like you have good people around you, you have like a healthy partnership with somebody. Now, if you're already in some type of relationship that is a little intense or it's just not working out, Jupiter can escalate things a little more. So you just gotta watch out for that as well. But overall, when it comes to your connection and interactions with other people, this is going to be very positive. And with Jupiter in the 7th house, it can bring somebody who just makes you laugh, who is just very spiritual or has a lot of wisdom. And because your 7th house is ruled by Gemini, you can actually bring in somebody who is a Gemini sun, moon, or rising, or has Venus in Gemini. Or if you're like a female, their Mars could be in Gemini, and this person is going to be very knowledgeable and very social and also expand your mind. So it's a great time for relationships. Cap rising. Jupiter in Gemini is going to be entering your 6th house of work and health and self-care. So this is great for you because, of course, you are a workaholic and you're all about where can I find a new opportunity? Where can I expand even further when it comes to my goals? Jupiter here in your 6th house can definitely bring new opportunities when it comes to work, and it can help you expand more further. So I'm sure you're looking forward to that. But also there's an emphasis on your routine, your health, and how you take care of yourself. So with the energy of Jupiter, you can feel very optimistic about self-care and health. That's something that may interest you, or you may look at the more spiritual sides of it, or you may, because Jupiter is in Gemini, so it's all about knowledge and wisdom. So you may read a lot of books or learn more about how the mind, body, soul, and spirit interact and how they work. So that's something that's also going to be key for you. So work and health, and remember, without health, you got nothing. So really make that a priority. Aquarius rising. Jupiter will be moving into your 5th house of the inner child, of joy, of creativity, of pleasure and leisure, and also romance. So this could be a time, now I know Pluto is in Aquarius, so some of you, not all of you, because like I said in the start of this video, Pluto is a very slow moving planet, so it's not going to impact everyone at the same time. But some of you may be going through some real deep, intense transformation. But with Jupiter moving into your 5th house, it can tune you back into your inner child. It can bring out the happy, joyful, positive side to you. It can be a very nostalgic energy. It can also make you more creative and more expressive. So just expressing yourself and sharing your arts and talents with others may be very key for you during this time. It can also attract a lover into your life. So you may be dating or feeling more open to dating, getting to know people. It can just be a very romantic time as well. But it's overall a beautiful energy. Aside from what some of you may be going through, not all of you, but just we're focusing on the 5th house and Jupiter here, this could be a very beautiful, happy, joyful energy. Pisces rising. Jupiter and Gemini will be entering your 4th house of home, family, your roots and ancestry, your safe haven, your temple. So with Jupiter here, there's a lot of emphasis on home. Maybe you're moving home, maybe you just feel more attached to your home and you just are enjoying family during this time, or maybe there's just a lot of children being born, like your family line is just expanding and growing and there's a lot of new energy. Maybe it's a very celebratory time and there's a lot of celebrations, a lot of house parties, like that could be a manifestation too. But you're feeling very happy and joyful and positive about home home and family. And the 4th house is where you want to grow in. So maybe you're in a relationship, or maybe you're single, it doesn't matter, and maybe you want to move forward in life and, you know, move into a new place, a new home. Maybe you're doing something really spiritual with your home. Maybe you're revamping your home, or maybe there's something significant happening, or maybe you're diving deep into your ancestry and your roots, and you're feeling very like spiritual during this time, and you want to know about where you come from and like your ancestors, and even like probably you want to learn about like the spiritual practices your ancestors practice. Now sometimes, depending on the individual, this could work out as in there's just a lot of stuff going on at home, there's just too much energy to keep up with at home. Sometimes Jupiter can be just so overbearing and overwhelming, so that's just something to be mindful of when it comes to home and family. But just overall, just a lot of pleasant, happy, joyful energy when it comes to home, family, and your roots. So Jupiter in Gemini, I went through all the 12 zodiac signs. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. I hope Jupiter brings you abundance and blessings and all that your heart desires. If you want to learn more about astrology in your birth chart and what's currently impacting you, you can check out my booking website down below for one-to-one readings or emailed readings, and I'll see you very soon. Sending you so much love.